What is up, guys? Welcome back to SPPTV. Today we're going to be doing a bunch of different things, hopefully. Just be warned, this video is full of fail. So let's get to it. Alright, so as you can probably notice behind me, the car is on jack stands. The truck is also on jack stands. The reasons why the car is on jack stands is because there's something wrong with the transmission. I'm not sure what it is. It's a noise. It could be something with the gear set. It's a 2-speed power glide. It has a straight cut gear set in it, which is pretty noisy, but now it's making a noise just when I'm driving, and it's louder than the normal noise. So the transmission has to come out. So that's the number one fail right there. So my car is down, which really sucks, but we'll get the trans out and hopefully figure out what's wrong with it. The truck, I have the box on, as I'm sure you saw in the previous video. I bolted the box down. I did a few wiring things, which is nothing to be excited about. I ran the wires for the battery. The orange wire is the key power, or the constant power I should say, for the relays that are behind the seat. And then the positive negative battery cable, I just got to put the clamps back on. And then I have to bolt the lid back on. Then I went to put the drive shaft in, this aluminum drive shaft. I wanted to test fit it. I actually had to source a special U-joint, conversion U-joint for it, which I ended up buying, which I never used because of the issue. The issue is when I put the drive shaft in to shorten it up, I had the truck on the ground, so I wasn't underneath it. I put the drive shaft in, I pushed it. I thought it bottomed out. Apparently it was getting stuck on something, the seal or the shaft, I don't know. So I made the drive shaft, I cut it down, I welded it, and now I went to put it in and it's too short. So yeah, I wanted to test fit it in there and found out that it was no good. So yeah, it kind of sucks. Basically it slipped in way further. Like, it still fits in the truck, but it sticks out like 2 inches or 3 inches, like the yoke sticks out way too far. So while it might be okay, I don't really want to try it like that. I've been kicking around the idea, I don't really trust this drive shaft. I mean, I went to see about getting it balanced. The guy said that he could possibly balance it. They have to check it for straightness. And if they could, it was going to be like $110 plus tax and everything. So then I started to think, is it worth spending $110 on a drive shaft that I got from the junkyard that I may or may not be good? Or do I just put that money towards a new drive shaft? Well, I have another issue with my car, and the issue with my car is, and keep in mind I've had it like this for a long time and it's never really caused an issue, but the drive shaft that's in the car has been in there for a long time. It's a strange Molly drive shaft, 3-inch drive shaft. It's actually too short, and it actually sticks out of the back of the transmission too much. After I changed over to the 9-inch, which is 10 years ago, it was short. And I always wanted to change it or get a longer yoke or something. So now I took a measurement, and actually the drive shaft that's in the Nova will fit in the truck. It is the right length for the truck. So now my plan is to take the drive shaft out of the car. I'll have to swap some U-joints around. I'll have to get a different kind of conversion U-joint to work with that rear end or drive shaft. Believe it or not, this drive shaft has like 1330 U-joints in it. In the back it's a 1330 to a 1350 to go to the 9-inch. And it's lasted like 10 years, pulling wheelies, never broke, which is amazing. But now it's actually, you know, hopefully once I crank the boost up, it's going to make more power than it ever has. So maybe the drive shaft, you know, would break. So I'm going to order a new Bears drive shaft with 1350 U-joints, an inch or two longer to make it fit better in the car. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take the drive shaft out of this one, switch some stuff around, and then hopefully put it in the truck. The truck is actually almost ready to go, ready to start. I got the injectors flowed at a place in Winnipeg called Speed Factor. And we also got the ones flow tested for the shit horse to make sure they were good, because we were thinking that maybe one of them was bad. They ended up testing out really good. These ones here tested out really good. Here they are. I believe he said at 43 psi they're like 55 pounds, so at 58 psi they'll be like 70 pounds, I'm guessing, or so. But the spray pattern was all really good on them, so so that's good. So those can go in today, and pretty much once those injectors go in, I'll test for fuel leaks. I still have to bleed the brakes and put in fluids, but it's pretty much ready to run. So in the next video, possibly in this video and most likely in the next video, the truck will actually get running. Like I said, I also want to pull the transmission out of the Nova, try to figure it out. But we'll see what happens, see what we can get done today. All right, so I got the drive shaft out of the Nova. It's a 3-inch Molly drive shaft. And actually, this U-joint on the back is got, I guess it's a 1330 U-joint, but they make two different kinds. One 1330 has 1.065 caps, and the other one has 1.12 caps, and the rear end on the truck is 1.12, and that's what these are. So this rear U-joint will actually work in the rear of the truck. So now my issue will be, I have to go from this to this, which is a 1350 U-joint, I believe, I'm pretty sure. So I gotta find a conversion U-joint that'll hook that up to this. And this drive shaft, I took a measurement, and it's like a good 1.5 inches too short, like not sticking into the transmission enough. And like I said, it's been like that a long time. Never really caused an issue, but it always kind of worried me. So I guess it's gonna get fixed now. I'm gonna knock this out so that I can take some measurements and then figure out what U-joint I get, and then maybe I can go find a U-joint for it and get the drive shaft in. I got both drive shafts apart. So this is what I need here. Here's my drive shaft, and I need to go from this 1350 U-joint to this 1330. So I got, this is the 1330 from my car, and this is a 1350 that I took out of the U-joint, or the yoke. So if you can see, they're exactly the same size this way. It's only difference is the cap diameter is smaller, and of course then the shaft diameter is smaller. See there, which I know this is a pretty puny U-joint. Like I said before, I can't believe that this is held up in my car for so long, you know, pulling big wheelies and stuff, and it never broke. And they're not even solid U-joints either, so it's pretty crazy. But we're gonna update the Nova to a better drive shaft with the bigger U-joints, and we're gonna put this one in the truck, which is actually gonna be really good because it'll be nice and strong. Like I said before, that aluminum one, while I thought it was cool, and I mean, if it works, it works, I was kind of scared, like, you know, if it breaks and it breaks the transmission, and that would just be a nightmare. I'm off to the parts store, and when I get back, we'll continue. Back from the parts store, this is what I got, the U-joint I need. So it's got the big caps on one end, smaller caps on the other end, and this one is 448. So if you need to go from a 1350 to a small 1330 with, it's like 3.62 across, this is the one you need. If you need to go from a 1350 to a 1330 Ford big cap, which is a 1.12 cap, like this, then you would need the 459, which I returned. So I'm gonna knock this into here, and then get it on the truck. So it's the 4L80 1350 to the 1.06 1330, and then at the back it's a 1.06 1330 to the 1.12 1330, which is, I guess, what Ford rear ends up. Have a strange rear case in the back, like aluminum center section and everything. I figured for sure it would have a 1350 U-joint in it, but apparently it's a 1330 U-joint, but the bigger 1330 U-joint. So now I'm gonna put this drive shaft in, and then I'll show you how it fits once I throw it in there. All right, so I got the drive shaft in. Now I have the truck sitting, that's probably as high as it ever gets for ride height, the amount of lift. Now I'll take you under there, and I'll show you how much space there is. Okay, so now if you see between the end of the yoke and the seal, there's about 1.25 inches at full droop, and when the truck's laid right on the ground, there is about 3/4 inch sticking out still. So I think that's pretty good. Obviously at full droop, it's like at full layout, it doesn't get any lower than that. So there's definitely clearance, and that's gonna work. So now that I got the drive shaft on, pretty much the only thing I can think that still needs to be done under the truck is the brakes have to be bled, which I can't really do by myself. So that's gonna have to wait. I guess I can put the injectors in now, because pretty much the only thing I still have to do under the hood is put the injectors in. And then once the injectors are in, I can put the battery in and like charge the fuel system, see if I got any leaks, adjust the fuel pressure regulator, stuff like that. And then pretty much it'll be time to put the fluids in and get it started. Like I said, I'm gonna have to come up with a tune. So I'll have to look up on like Sloppy's wiki tune cabinet, or whatever it's called, Sloppy tune cabinet. I'll have to look on there, see what I can find. You know, I don't know if I can use anything totally on there, but I might be able to take one and then modify it, or at least look at them to get an idea of what I need to do. I'm also kind of taking the transmission out of the Nova. I'm jumping around today kind of a little bit. I already took some stuff off. You can see the pile down there. Parts of the exhaust. I have to pull the exhaust. It's pretty shitty because I have the exhaust is the same back part of the exhaust from when I had the nitrous combo in there, so it has a crossover on the exhaust, which I think I might pull the exhaust off and cut that off and then just cover the holes up, because it makes it really hard to pull the transmission out. But the exhaust goes over the transmission crossmember anyways, so pretty much the exhaust has to be dropped to pull the transmission out. So yeah, I think I'll probably do the injectors now, get those in at least, and then maybe I'll get back on the transmission. It's getting pretty hot in here. It's hot, really, really hot out today, so I don't know how much more work I'm gonna do here, but maybe I'll throw these injectors in now. All right, so here's the fuel rail. I took it off the truck. It was only, all the bolts were only held on loosely. This is the adapter fitting. I think it's made by Russell to go to an AN line to use the stock fuel rails. Here's the injectors. Open them up. And then I guess we'll turn this upside down. So if you see these injectors, they're a short injector with an EV6 style plug. This fuel rail is for the new Trailblazer new body style truck. I think it's like from a 2009, that's where the injectors came off of. Most of them are a little bit different. They have this part here is shorter, so you have to use like a longer injector with the truck intake like this. But I don't know what the part number of these are. The writing is so small. 80681 is the injector number. I mean, I can show it to you guys. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's too dark, but yeah. Sorry, it might be a little dark. It's actually really dark on that side, but I have the door closed because it's so hot out. And actually it's staying relatively cool in here as long as I keep the door closed. So it's kind of weird that I actually have the injectors in here. It's been a while. But that was the last thing to get, really, that was needed. There we go. All the fluids, the oil and trans fluid and all that, I already have it here. Like I said, because it's so hot out, when I'm done in here, I'll go in the house and start screwing around with the HP tuners and the tune and try to figure that stuff out. And, like I said before, hopefully the next video we will be firing it up. Ugh. I hate these AN fittings when they don't want to connect, you know. Oh, come on. Huh, see? And then there it goes like butter, you know? So weird. Man, I'll tell you, I feel for you guys who live down south and stuff where it's always really hot. Because it's hot. I mean, I'm not used to it. You guys are probably used to it, obviously, where it's really, really hot. California. I hear it's really hot in California right now. So stay cool, guys. Wherever you are that it's hot. Or wherever, just wherever in general. Just stay cool. I really like these plugs over the ones that come on like the earlier gen LS's. With that big long stem coming off of them. They're weird to plug in and they're ugly looking. These ones plug in really nice. I mean, the EV1 ones are nice too. That's what I have on my car and we have on the shit horse. Alright, that's one side. Alright guys. Well, like I said before, it's pretty hot. I think I'm done for the day. I think I got a decent amount done. Hopefully in the next video we might hear the truck running. All I really have to do now is bleed the brakes, put a tune in it, put it in the fluids, and that's pretty much it. And I still got to build that front spoiler I want to build. I actually got some cardboard up there to make like a mock-up of it. So that's got to happen, but obviously that doesn't need to happen to get it running. Also have to pull the transmission out of the Nova, which I'll probably do tomorrow. Most likely I'll film that too. And then we'll see what happens. Get ready for the truck to fire up finally, because I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm sure you guys are too. So like always, like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and we'll check you later.